For centuries, our country has been unified by laws. History has shown us time and time again, from region to region, that a land without law is a land without civilization. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, declared, "The clearest way to show what the rule of law means to us in everyday life is to recall what has happened when there is no rule of law," as well as saying, "If civilization is to survive, it must choose the rule of law." This is the purpose that the law has fulfilled, and its impact in our lives is undeniable. The structure of our country and even the world as we know it has been defined and molded by the laws governing them. From our right to freedom to our right to seek justice and peace, I've come to learn that the law directs and guides both paths.
My name is Angel Aquajor, and I am a sophomore at Western Governors University. I graduated from high school in May of 2021 and have since attended Houston Community College, where I completed my prerequisites before transferring to my nursing school. I am currently a psychiatric technician at a mental health facility and plan on attending law school after graduating from nursing school in May of 2025. Now, I know what you're thinking. Everyone says it. Why does a nurse want to go to law school? The two fields are vastly different in nature. The medical field is considered the field of health and healing. It's bursting at the seams with nurses, doctors, and a plethora of diverse specialists all working together to complete a common goal. From administrating diagnoses, treatment plans, detecting preventions for diseases, conducting medical research, and so much more. Medicine aims to promote and maintain health and well-being. To explain myself, I really have to start from the beginning. A lot of my reverence for nursing came from memories of my early childhood, admiring my mom as she'd hurriedly pack her lunch before disappearing in the evening, returning home from downtown Houston in the early morning, and getting little rest before doing it all again the next day. That was my normal. I remember watching her completely awestruck. She continues to be one of the most hardworking and inspirational women that I know. I looked up to her and her job immensely, and I still do. It quickly became my dream job, and I couldn't wait to be just like her. However, I soon learned that nursing was much more than the bigger-than-life stories my mom would tell me about when she got home, the pretty blue scrubs I saw adorn her, or even the fancy clogs I'd secretly slip into when she wasn't looking. Nursing was so much more, and it took just a few moments for me to realize it. I only realized this conclusion after my exposure to nursing developed in a fashion I had never expected before. My little brother, Justice, was diagnosed with autism. Rocking him to sleep at night because I was the only one that knew how to, getting him dressed in the morning and walking him to school while he'd regularly try to run into the street, and navigating the ins and outs of communication with a nonverbal child was difficult, to say the least. Understanding the triggers for explosive tantrums and de-escalation tactics was strenuous for me. I remember not being able to spend much time with my friends because everything was too much for my mom to handle by herself. Listening to friends talk about inviting people to their homes was hard for me to do. It just wasn't a reality for me. Looking back now, I realized something that I never did before. I, at the age of 10, became a nurse of sorts. Of course, I had no degree, proper training, or as well as a clue about the NCLEX RN exam. But I knew what it meant to give my all to take care of someone. I didn't wear the pretty blue scrubs or fancy clogs I dreamed of, but what I did do was 1,000 times more rewarding than that. Nurses are caretakers. They are the voices of the mute and the wounded. Caring for my younger brother and hoping that one day there will be adequate resources for others to learn how to do the same for people with intellectual disabilities changed my life. It was by no means an easy feat, but it made me who I am. Being a psychiatric technician and caring for the intellectually disabled has opened my eyes to so much. It has been an extremely fulfilling experience that has made me feel like I'm touching base with the people who most of society has simply forgotten. Their stories of mistreatment are heartbreaking. It's what made me decide to use my Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree to enter into law school and become an attorney that specializes in defending mentally and physically disabled clients who have been mistreated or taken advantage of. With prior knowledge of correct medical practices due to my background in nursing, it will be easier for me to recognize medical malpractice. Using my understanding of the law, I will be able to recognize violations of discrimination laws as well. From the stress of school to the financial strain it's already put on my family's finances, I am well aware that this journey will be hard to complete. But when has anything worthwhile been easy to do in life? The only way to get through these obstacles, I've learned, is to grow through them. This was hard for me to come to terms with at first. Growing up, I wanted more than anything to open my eyes and see the problems standing before me disappear, but they didn't. Eventually, I learned that they weren't supposed to. The hurdles track runners face when competing don't simply disappear, they are conquered. As they jump over each hurdle, the next becomes easier. Nothing about my childhood was easy, but it was worth it. Just knowing that I will be able to take care of people like my little brother from both a legal and medical standpoint makes the tough journey ahead of me more than worth my while. I couldn't be more grateful for my family and the influence they've had on my passions. They've shaped me into who I am and made me want to become an advocate for people who cannot advocate for themselves.